thank you very much for joining us today. As you can see, we're pretty excited about about JuicedSign, about what we're about to launch, which we did launch this week, technically. I know you've been getting a lot of emails, a lot of correspondence from us over the past 2 weeks, because we want to make sure you guys have an opportunity to get a look at our JuicedSign and understand more about it. So we were kind of hitting you with a little bit of dribs and drabs of information throughout the past 2 weeks. And we're kind of summing it up today. So again, for us, this is an exciting time. We want to share more about JuicedSign. We want to talk more about it. We have, for today's webinar, we have some exclusive offers. So available only to the people who showed up today to spend some time with us. So again, we thank you for spending that time with us. We know everybody's busy and it's hard to carve out some time to jump on webinars, but so we certainly appreciate that. And we have some offers that we're going to share that will be available to you. We're going to go through our do-it-yourself setup wizard. So I'm going to set up an application that doesn't have any of our other add-ons installed in it. And then I'm going to set up another application that has Exact Forms Plus installed in it and kind of show you how you might be able to take that Exact Forms Plus template and make it usable for JuicedSign. So we'll talk a little bit about security and legality as well. At the end, we will talk a little bit about what's next, like what we're going to be heading down the road with version 2 and beyond with JuicedSign. So I can't just jump in without acknowledging my team. You see everybody here. Again, we're all excited about what we've put together here. This is an unbelievable team. Todd and I are so proud to have the members here that you see in this picture. We feel that over the past 12 months, we've accomplished so much, not only with JuicedSign, but we've released some cool things like our Excel docs configurator, our query builder. So when we have a small team here, but you know what, we don't work small. So we get a lot done in a short period of time, and it's all credit to the people that you see in this picture here. So thank you, my team here, and Todd's team for all that you've done to help us along here. So
thanks for the shout out, Keith, but we really appreciate it. And you guys can see the Juice team's on call today. We don't usually have everyone on camera. One thing too, if you guys like those shirts, we have the JuicedSign shirts, and we have actually a ton of those available if you guys are interested.
If you want one of these, type in the chat t-shirt right now. Type in t-shirt. You don't have to tell us your size. You don't have to give us your address, anything. Matt and Shally will follow up with you in the next couple of days. So if you want a t-shirt, type it in the chat, and we'll Justin, you guys already got yours, so you can't get another one. But
can I do t-shirt, Keith?
But Justin's going to mark your attendance registration record in our system here that you want a shirt, and we'll follow up with you after that. So again, this is our team, and Todd and I are proud of the group of people that we have here. So let's move on. Let's talk more about what we have to offer you today. Besides the t-shirt, we have an exclusive offer. We're giving away 1 year free of JuicedSign. So it's a value of $1,863, because that includes the setup charge of $675, as well as the hosting charge, which it's $99 a month if you pay annually. So between the hosting charge and the setup charge, it's an $1,863 value. There's always fine print with any offer. So look below. We're going to set up one application, one template to use JuicedSign. You can send 3,600 agreements in that 12-month period, and you can send from 5 different senders. Okay, so if you need more than that, the standard rates are going to apply after that. But if we're happy to give away something like this. And just to give you a little idea how that's going to work is
you're going to spin that wheel.
Dylan put together a little.
Look at that.
The wheel of JuicedSign. So this isn't, we're not picking a winner now, but this is what it's going to look like later. So once we get to the end of this presentation, we'll go through the wheel of JuicedSign. Laugh every time I see that, but and that could be you. So the winner will be picked from all of you who've registered. So again, you'll enjoy 12 months free of JuicedSign. We're excited to have that offer. Let me go back to my presentation. Okay, so moving on. So in addition to the free offer for JuicedSign, we have some other offers that are only going to be available for today. So, and you're going to be able to see these offers in our demo app. So Justin's going to put a link to our demo app into the chat so that you can follow along. But so we're going to offer a 50-50. So 50% off the base, 50% off the setup charge. Again, it's 300 agreements a month, 3,600 a year, 5 senders, $1,863 value for $931.50. Okay, then we're only offering 5 of those. I mean, I'm sorry, we're offering, yes, 5 of those. And then if we run out of those, there's going to be 25% off. So it's the same type of setup, but 25% off instead of 50% off. Again, 300 a month, 3,600 a year, 5 senders. And if you need more than that, if you're really excited to use JuicedSign, as we're excited to have you use JuicedSign, and you think you're going to need more volume, meaning you're going to need more than 3,600 agreements for the year, and maybe you're going to need more than 5 senders, we have an offer for our 50-50 double, we're calling it. So it's 50% off, but double the volume. That's a 32.17 value for 1608.50. Now, if you've worked with us in the past and you've been with us for a while, you know we don't discount often. And Danielle, she's the police down there on our team, so she doesn't like when we discount. So sorry, Danielle, we're gonna do that today. But again, it's just these are available today. We hope you'll take advantage of them. I think we think they're pretty good offers. But again, you'll be able to take a look at those right from our demo application. You'll get a little bit more. You'll be able to actually click and pay for not pay. You'll be able to click to buy one of those.
Hey Keith, I just want to make sure before we send that link in, do we have the right page posted for that?
Oh,
just
maybe,
make sure we do the webinar.
You know,
Let's check that.
good point, Matt. You know what? I need to go into my roles. And
Let's make sure we make that go live because we've been hiding that from you guys.
yeah, no, we only wanted, it's only going to be available for today. Let me just see here. That's right. You know what? I think I just got to switch my everyone on the internet role. If you refresh, you should see, whoop, not that one. You should see this page right here. If you see this page, then I did that right. So again, here's the offers. We have 5, 8, and 5. So our 50-50 offer that we're offering 5, or 25% offer, we're offering 8, and our 50 double, we're offering 5. You can click right here to view the offers. So if you either one of those links will take you to what I had in the slide deck, the value, the discount, what you're going to pay. You can purchase now. So you just click here, purchase now. And what's going to happen is after you fill this out, if you chose the wrong one, you can just choose another one. Fill out this form. And basically when you hit save and close, we're going to actually create an Exact Forms Plus quote that's going to be sent out to you. And it's going to be sent out to you using JuicedSign. So we want you to experience JuicedSign for yourself if you want to take advantage of one of these offers. When you sign it, it comes back to us. We're going to mark that as a confirmed order. And you'll get to take advantage of that offer. So that's kind of how that works. All right, so let's jump into the demo. So I'm going to sign into the cloud. I think I'm already signed in, but let's. I'm going to pull up a different web page here. All right, sorry for the delay here. So I'm going to sign into the cloud. So I have an application in my Builder account, and it's just an estimate app, a simple estimate app, application, estimates and line items. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set JuicedSign up in this application. So if you go to the Juice Cloud, this is my customer Juice Tech Builder. You guys, when you're in the cloud, you won't see a company drop down that has other companies. Obviously, I have access to other companies. That's why I see that. But you'll see that we have a nice orange little icon here on the dashboard. We call these tiles. So you can click on this tile and you can learn more about JuicedSign. But if you're interested in starting a trial, all you got to do is click Start Trial. Our wizard opens up. So I already have a token associated to that application, so I'm going to choose the existing token. So it's going to show me a list of applications that my token has access to. So I'm going to choose my JuicedSign estimate application. Choose Next. Now, this is a little unique, this screen here, because we have to do a little setup on the JuicedSign side, because we need to say, all right, where are we going to send the emails out from, and set up basically a JuicedSign account for you in our system. So in this case, you're going to enter in the default sender's name, and you can always come to our question marks here, which we give you a little bit more help on. But so the sender's name, in this case, I'm going to say I'm going to close that little window there. I'm going to say it's Juiced Tech, since that's my demo app here. I'm going to use Juiced Tech 2005 at gmail.com. Now, email prefix. So this has to be unique throughout all of our JuicedSign accounts. And this is really something that might identify your company name or something like that. Like we use Juiced as ours, but in this case, I'm going to use Juiced Tech for this account. And then and you'll notice once I type in here, you're going to see what the email address for the sender is going to look like. So we set up one default sender for everybody when you go through this process. So let's just say I want to use initials, because maybe after I add more users, I want their initials to be out on this. So this is how the email is going to go out to your customers for signing documents through JuicedSign. So my domain is Juiced Tech, and my initials are JT. But maybe if Matt was in this, maybe I'd have MT there for Matt as one of my senders, and Todd would be TJ. So that's one way to do it. Or you can do it like this. Maybe you want to have an email address that says contracts, because that's what you're sending out. So it's totally up to you. You have full control over that. And I'm going to change it to that. You cannot control the end after the @ sign. That's us. We have to send out from juicesign.net. You can control the left side of the @ So here we're setting up the rest of our parameters. These are our reminders. So when do we want to send out reminders to the customers that we're sending out JuicedSign agreements to? So it's a pretty full functioning reminder service that we offer in JuicedSign. So it pings your customers to say, hey, you haven't signed off on this agreement yet. You might want to review it again. So it resends them back that same email that they got, maybe a little different message in there, but it has the link so that they can click and then open up the JuicedSign agreement and execute it. You can control when agreements expire as well. You can control, this is just a default settings that you put in the system. You can always control them later on at the agreement level. You can also change the URL. If you want a logo to show up in the emails that go out, if you paste in a full URL, meaning HTTPS with pointing to the logo, we'll use your logo in the emails that we send out to your customers. Otherwise, we'll use our logo. Same thing with the landing page. When the agreement's completed, we send you to a completion page, and it's a JuicedSign completion page. If you want to override that page, you can override it here. So you can provide those in setup, or you leave them blank and we use ours. So if everything's good, we move on to the next tab, and we're going to now choose the table in that application that we want to set up to use JuicedSign. So I'm going to choose my estimates table, and there's a file attachment. I'm going to actually create a new file attachment field because I didn't have one in there, and I'm going to call this file to send. And then I'm going to take a look at who do I want to send it to. So I'm going to be sending out that file to somebody to sign. And I actually have a customer name field, so let's use that one. And maybe I need an email address too, because you have to have a name and an email address when you're dealing with JuicedSign. So I don't see an email address here, so let me create one. So I'm just going to call this customer email. Okay, so everything looks good. I chose my table. I set everything up. I think this looks good, so I'm going to hit finish. So right now what's happening is our wizard is going out to my estimates application, which only had 2 tables in it, and it's going to create 3 or 4 tables in it. So if you have ExactForms Plus already set up, it's not going to create the document templates table, or because it's going to use it. But in this case, I didn't have ExactForms Plus set up in this app. So it's going to create a documents templates table. So now basically we get really a summary of what happened. So you can see we added a bunch of fields to the estimates table, which is the table I selected to set up. It also added 4 tables to that application. And we also added a document template into the document templates table. Now, if you want to test this right away, and I do, there's a link to our document template this is actually an output file that we want to send to JuicedSign. So I'm just going to download that. So I'm going to come to my help site, and I'm going to download that file. I'm just going to save it down to my local drive. And the downloads, that looks good. But this is the document that I'm going to send out when I run this quick test. So I have it down here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my application, which is here. So this was the application. If I refresh, we're going to see all that was done by JuicedSign Setup Wizard. So again, we created the document templates table, a management table, some of these other tables. We inserted a record into our document templates table. But you're also going to see that we inserted some tags. And again, there's some cleanup that's going to have to be done. And we're going to have a very detailed, we have on a help site some details about how to clean it up because we can't do some of these things through the API. But I like to just choose the list all report so I can see. So we created some recipient tags. That's what these are called. So we created a document template with a Word document. We actually created the tags associated with that document. If we go back to the estimates table, and I go into that first record, we're going to see that down below, we created a bunch of new fields. So I want to see if this works. So I want to test it quick. So in order to do that, I'm going to upload that sample document, which is a PDF that you just saw. And I'm actually going to put in an email address. So let's test it with my Gmail. So right now I have my customer name is up here. So Jane Doe at my email address, obviously, is going to get that PDF to sign. So now that JuicedSign is set up in here, let's see if it's going to work. I hope it's going to work. So I'm going to go back into this record. Now we have a couple buttons that we put out here for you. This preview one here, when you click on this, my one suggestion is that you let it load. Okay, so let it load. Now we're going to show you the recipients involved in this agreement. So Jane Doe, she's the first recipient. I'm going to choose it. Let the document load here. When you see the JuicedSign logo go away, you can click and open so you kind of get a bigger view. So this is our preview mode, meaning we're going to show you what tags Jane Doe is supposed to action when she does finally get this document. So whoop, there's a PO number. So I'm going to ask her to give me a PO number. And then also there's a click to sign here. And I like the placement of these things. Everything looks good, so I don't have to tweak anything. So I'm just going to close this preview window. Now, nothing happened here. No agreements were sent out. No transactions were consumed. So when we talk about 3,600 transactions for the year, you click the preview button, that doesn't count. That's for you to maximize the tagging experience and adjust things as you see fit. But if everything looks good, I'm going to click send to JuicedSign. So this window comes up. It's a confirmation window that says this is the file you want to send out. These are the parameters for delay and reminders. And this is who the sender is. And the reason why it shows my real email address is because I'm still the sender, even though we're sending it out through the JuicedSign.net. When someone hits reply in that email, it will come to me and not go to that JuicedSign.net email address. But everything looks good here, so I'm going to click send to JuicedSign. So it says that it created an agreement, and I'm going to close this window. And what you're going to notice is we have some other fields that are going to get updated here. We have our JuicedSign recipients, and we also have a management table. So after I close that, you'll see that we added a record here, and I want to clean this up a bit too, since it's a little messy. I want the list all report here. And you know what? I want to come down here, and I have my management record. Now, obviously, this doesn't look pretty. Again, we don't have control over this. So it doesn't affect the performance of JuicedSign. So that JuicedSign still works, even though it's not formatted pretty. So you can just adjust these things at your own time. But what I want to do is I want to go to my Gmail. So we see I got an email from JuiceTech. This is what the email looks like. JuiceTech via JuicedSign. That's the email address that was sent from. But we come back here and we look at these reports, and I'm going to bring this one up. So it's right next to the other one. I like to have the recipients report right next to my agreements report. Our JuicedSign management records, that's really the agreements. The agreements are stored in here, and the recipients associated with the agreements are stored in the recipients table. So you see I have an agreement, and it's delivered, and it was sent to one person, Jane Doe, at my email address, and it was delivered. And we track when it was delivered. That's when it was delivered. And you see these other dates haven't been updated yet, but they will be once I open this up. So I got this, see this Juice logo here? This is what I mean. When you send out a document, you can control the Juice logo instead of it showing Juice logo. You can also control what this message and all this information looks like right from the application. So if the subject is controllable from you in Quickbase, because we have a subject field that is right here. You can, that's a formula field, so you can add whatever else you want to that, as well as the message body. So you can control all of that. It's not something that's static and is not changeable. So now the person gets the email. So Jane Doe at my email address just got this. So we're going to click to review. So now this is the JuicedSign experience now. So this is where the customers get to review the document and see if they want to sign off on it. So what we have here is we have a couple other options. They can print it and sign it. So if they don't want to actually action it in electronic format, they can click it and print it and sign it. They can decline to sign. And if they do decide to do that, we pop open a message box and we say, are you sure you want to do this? And if you do, give us a reason why. And we bring that reason back to Quickbase, so you know that that happened. But I don't want to decline this one. I want to actually execute it. Or I can finish later. Maybe I'm just going to print it out and check with my superiors to see if this is something that we want to do. So if I do want to move forward, I have to go into terms and conditions to view. These are the terms and conditions. So here's where I'm intending to sign this electronically, and I agree to sign this document in electronic format. So my signature is going to be a binding signature. This is part of how we consider our documents, our agreements, legally binding. So again, if you don't agree to these terms, you don't have to continue on. But if you do, you check this box. Now, then I showed you the statusing. So see, this shows delivered. I'm going to refresh the screen here. It says open now. So that was an immediate update. So the second I clicked that I wanted to move forward with this agreement, we changed it to be open. So now if I continue on here, we're going to see that, oh, okay, I can start and it's going to take me to that PO number. I need to enter a PO number. Let's enter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then when I click next, it should take me down a little bit, but here it's kind of in the same format here. So if I come down here, I'm going to click to sign. So now I have the ability to choose some predefined signatures based on the name in different formats, or I can draw. In next version or 2 versions from now, we're going to have upload as well. But for now, those are your 2 different options for signing. So I'm going to choose a style. So let's choose this fancy one right here. Then I'm going to hit save. You'll see that now it was signed in there. We defaulted a date that nobody can change. This way we can capture the date that it was signed. And now I'm going to click finish. So here's the page that this is the completion page. Again, this is another thing you guys can control. If you don't want it to look like this, you can create your own HTML page and we can redirect to your page. But if I come back into my Quickbase application, I refresh again, we're going to see that the status changed to completed. And also the recipient status is completed. And we also see some dates and so on. So we see it was delivered, it was opened, and it was signed. Now, my app here is set up in Pacific time. So that's why you see these as 11 a.m. instead of 2:30. So we'll update these date fields in your application's time zone. Again, this is all done in Quickbase real time. So you track everything in here. And when I refresh the screen again, if I scroll down a bit, we're going to see if the document came back. Yep, here's the signed document. It came back into this field. I'm going to open that up. So now I see, oh, there's the PO number that I entered, and there's my signature. So now, and there's the date. Not only that, this is optional to bring back with the signed document, but this is what we call the agreement certificate. So this kind of it's more like a log of what's happened in the process. How many recipients were involved? How many of them were signers? Who sent it out? The recipient who signed it, what IP address they signed it from, what their email address was their name, the date they opened it, delivered, opened, and signed, and a little screenshot of what their signature was at the time.
Hey Keith, I'm gonna break your train of thought. I apologize. I know we're in the middle of doing the agreement certificate, which is very important. We got a very good question, which we can do is can you have multiple recipients to collect multiple signatures on a single document?
Yes.
So
yeah, definitely. I'm gonna get to that. So we'll definitely be able to do that.
So, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news too, but I believe we may have made a mistake with our permissions. Everyone's seeing that there's still offers left. I will be the first one to say that offers are going, and you know, it may say number of interests is nothing. Someone asked me about that, so I took out it from incognito mode. So I just wanted to let you guys know that that is still out there, and although it says they're all there, they are not. So if you're interested and you know there's one of the discounted deals that you guys want to get, I would go for them now. They are going. I just want to put that out there that you may see that they're all there, but I'll say I made a mistake.
That happens. We put that together last minute. So but again, yeah, please take advantage of those offers if you're interested in JuicedSign. So I know I am going fast. I know that because there's a lot I want to cover. So I do want to get to that double signer. But I just wanted to show what comes back from the recipient when the agreement is done. This is the actual terms and conditions that they chose when the signer clicked on that terms and conditions inside of the UI. We bring that back because from time to time we might have to change those terms. So we want to know what the terms were at the time that recipient actually did execute the document. So that's a full setup where I didn't clean up the app, and we have links, and Justin will share links to our help site to show you how to clean up the app. But really, the cleanup is just moving things around and making things look nicer. So again, I was able to test that without doing anything more than uploading a file and entering an email address. The wizard took care of everything else in terms of making sure that the structure of the application was in place to support JuicedSign. So that's the first app that I set up here. And what I want to do is I want to do another one so that we can show the two signers. So I'm going to go back into the cloud. And also when I come back into the cloud and I refresh, and if you're ever worried about your activities not refreshing and so on, just click the refresh button here and everything should look the way it should. But now I see that I actually, if I refresh again, oops, I got to go to my Juiced Tech Builder. So now when I'm in my Juiced Tech Builder, I see I do have a trial. And if I click here now, I don't see the information anymore. I actually see what applications are using JuicedSign. And we see we did create one agreement today. That's why we see the current month's activity. So now I can set up another table in that application, but I want to set up another application. So I'm going to authorize a new application. And I'm going to use that same token because it's assigned to the other application that I have. But you know what? This application, it's actually set up, and I'm pulling it up here. It's set up to use Exact Forms Plus. So you can see that we have a bunch of tables in here. We have our document templates table. We have our subtables table. But I typically send quotes from this application. So I want that quote that I send from Exact Forms Plus to now be configured to use JuicedSign. Let's move a little away from that. Let's finish the setup. So I'm going to choose the essentials with products. I'm going to choose next. So now you don't see the account information anymore because we only go into that the very first time you set up your account with JuicedSign. So now you just have to pretty much set up the app and choose different things within the app to complete the setup. So I want to set up the quotes table. I already have a file attachment field in there. So this is the file that I always send, that I create my quotes using Exact Forms Plus. And that's what I use to send out to my customers. So I want to choose that. And you know what? I do have some information about my customer in here already. I have their contact full name, and I also have their email address. There are already fields in my app. So I scroll over here. Again, I go to my quotes table. I look at that first quote record. So I have the contact full name and contact email. So you see those fields in the dropdown. So I'm good to go now. So I'm going to actually finish this setup. Once that's done, I'll bring the app back in view. Yeah, it does take a little bit of time because it's creating a bunch of tables, a bunch of fields, and it's building the relationships between those tables. But again, at the end, here's what we have. It told me what we did. We created all of these fields, and we created only 3 tables this time because the document templates table was already there because it's an Exact Forms Plus customer. Okay, so I'm good here. I'm going to bring back my app. I'm going to refresh it because now we're going to see some new tables. So when I click on the home page, it didn't do anything. It didn't replace that table. It just added some information to that table. It added these tables. So if I go to my document template record, It added a new template. Okay, so we already have the quote. I'm going to go to show you what that quote looks like when I typically generate it with Exact Forms Plus. So I generate this quote. It's always stored here. This is what the PDF looks like, but I have to have my customers manually sign off on this, and I have to sign off on it as well. So I want to use JuicedSign to do that. So let's close that. And I'm going to quickly show you how I'm going to take advantage of what our setup did. So our setup added a template record in there, and those tags happen to work well for my sample document. So what I'm going to do is, number one, I'm going to clean this up and show the list all report. And you know what? I'm going to reassign these tags to my quote template. That's all I'm doing here. So now I have 3 tags that were on my sample template, and now they're on my quote template. So let's go look at that. I'm going to go back to my templates table, looked at my quote, which is my existing Exact Forms Plus template. I reassigned those to this template. So now, you know what? Let's go back and let's see what we can do with that quote. See if we can send it to JuicedSign. Okay, so it's the same template. I didn't change the template itself. I don't have to recreate this. So this one already exists. And I have all that I need here. So let's take a look. Let's preview first and see if everything looks good. So preview, what preview also does is it verifies the recipients. Now, this is a good message. The reason why I'm getting this message is because my DocFids field, which is an important field, I'm going to show you what that is. My DocFids field is pointing at the sample template that was set up. This is all in help too, so you can go through the help and see what these fields mean. But really, I want that to point to my first template, because that's my quote template. So really, what this controls is what template is used in the process of JuicedSign, and what file attachment field has the file in it that we're going to send. So I'm changing that back to 1 because that's where my quote template is. So let's do that again now. So let's see if that fixed my issue here. Let's preview. So it does a little verification. Says, oh, okay, you're good. You have one guy in there, one recipient. I let it load, and actually, there's my temp. Oh wow, my tags actually lined up pretty good. So I was pretty lucky on that one. But if I had to adjust things, I'm going to show you how to adjust one of these tags. You know what? That's a little bit too far to the right. So I want to adjust that tag. So before I send this, I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go back to my template. I'm going to open this in another tab. So I'm going back to my quote template. I'm going to look at those tags that were created. There's the PO one. So you know what? I want to adjust it a little bit more to the left. So you can see now, number one thing is it found an anchor string. So it found the word PO number : inside the document and decided from there, I'm going to go over 1 inch, which is 72 pixels, and drop a tag. And I'm going to go back up a little bit because I'm going to come back a little higher. So you know what? I'm going to split this. Well, you know what? Maybe I'll make it. Yeah, let me make it 36. So I'm just adjusting the X offset. So here's the X and here's the Y. So I'm going to adjust that and hit save. I'm going to go back here and I'm going to preview again. Let's see if that moved. So again, choose the recipient. Now, if you have multiple recipients, you get a different view for each one based on the tags that they're required to action on. So I open this up. You can see that adjusted. So now it looks better. It looks closer to where I want to be. So I'm good with that. And it didn't touch the other tags, so I'm good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send that to JuicedSign. Again, one sender in here. It's my Gmail again. We'll quickly go through that. Close this. Again, if we look at that page, we got some. Refresh this. We got our JuicedSign recipients and we got our agreement. Again, I have to clean this up a bit because my recipients is up here and my agreement's down here, but you kind of get the take from before. It was delivered. So if I go to my email, go back, there's my request for signature. I'm going to click to review it and I'm going to see that quote form. And I'm going to check the box and I'm going to type in a PO number. I'm going to click to sign. I'm going to draw this time. And I'm a terrible drawer with the mouse.
I was about to say, what the heck is that, Keith?
That was gibberish. Like I talk sometimes. Okay, so now that I completed this, if I come back to my application, refresh again. So we can see that the status of the me executing it as what's this guy's name? Which name? Marshall, sorry. So me as Marshall, I signed off, and if I keep refreshing, I should see the document come back. Again, our batch processors, our Xaphones Plus batch process is running in the background to create the certificate of completion and attaching it back to the document. So you'll see that it'll land in the signed document field in a couple of seconds. There it is. I open it up. There's the signature. It's that crap signature. And then here's the PO number that you can see is in the document. Now, I should have, but I went kind of fast. I could have had that come back into my PO number field. Had I just taken this and said, oh, okay, it's 63, that's the field ID. If I go back into the tags for that template, I did say 63, right? I think I did. If I go back into the PO template tag, if I come in there, there's a field called QB update field, 63. So had I entered that, the PO number would have come back right into that field, right on the quote record itself. And I don't want to create another one for this because I want to get to the second recipient. So, but if I have time, I'll go back and do that one. So I want to do a second recipient because you saw that document, it really kind of needed a second recipient. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a second recipient out of this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to first change another important field on our series of fields here, which is called the agreement recipient string. So if I go in and edit that, okay, this is basically telling us who's the signer, which recipients are going to be involved. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to insert it. And I'm going to put an ampersand at the end because I want a second recipient. And all recipients are delimited by a pipe. But I don't want the customer to be the first one. I want to actually sign this. So there's a field called, oops, I don't want to do that. Sales rep name on this record. And there's also a field called sales rep email. Because I'm the sales rep and I want to see that document before it goes out. So I'm going to be the first recipient as the salesperson. But you know what else I'm going to do? I want to be what's called the captive recipient. So I want to see that right in Quickbase. So now what I have to do is I have to change my client to be the second recipient. And my client needs to sign in the second order. So I won't go, that's kind of like a quick way to set this up. And again, this is in our help site. So I have two recipients, the salesperson who's going to be captive, the client who's going to be remote signer. So that's good. But you know what? I need some tags now. Okay. So let's go back to that template. And I'm going to go back to my quote template. And what I'm going to do is, since I made the recipient, the client recipient 2, I need to change. I'm going to do two things. I know I need the signature for my second recipient. So I'm going to copy that record and I'm going to make it recipient 2. But I also have an anchor string in there called JS2, and I'll get to that. But basically all I had to do was change these 2 points because I wanted to go to recipient 2 and I want it to be on the other side of the document away from my customer. So let me just save that. Go back to, sorry. So I want to duplicate one more tag, not the date sign tag. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to take the date signed from recipient number 1 and I'm going to copy it. And again, that's recipient number 2, because this was the customer. Okay, so now it's going to make this a little easier for me to bounce around in. I want to go back to my template. Whoops. So now I have all these tags, but you know what? They're all assigned to recipient number 1, but I don't want that. So I want them to be assigned to recipient number 2. So this one is going to be 2. This one's because this is my customer now. So I want my customer to get the PO number in these two tags related to PO number JS1, JS1. I want me as recipient number 1 to get these two tags. So now recipient number 2 is my customer. Recipient number 1 is me, the salesperson in the app. Okay, so I think this looks good. Let's go back to that quote. And let's do a preview on this one now and see if what I did makes sense. Let's preview this. Okay, now I have 2 recipients. Salesperson, Juiced. Marshall is my customer. Let's take a look at what Juiced has to do. So again, let the preview load. We're still working on some of that, but sometimes the tags don't show up in there. Obviously, me as a salesperson, I'm not entering the PO number, but I need to sign over here. So that's where I'm going to sign. That looks good. You know what? Let's take a look what Marshall has to do. Marshall has to sign over here. I actually enter a PO number, and Marshall has to sign down here. This looks perfect. I'm going to send this now to JuicedSign, but you're going to see a little bit of a different experience here. When I click send to JuicedSign now, it's going to show me 2 recipients. One's captive. What does that mean? Well, let me show you. When I send to JuicedSign now, the captive person who's me, wow, it opened up right in Quickbase kind of. So now this is, I'm going to agree to sign, continue. There's my signature. I'm going to choose that fancy one there. Everything's good. Finish. Landing page, close. Sorry for going fast. I just want to kind of get through this. Oh, so Marshall didn't get that until after I finished. Now Marshall gets it because he was in order number 2. So now here's Marshall. He's going to see, he's actually going to see that I signed off on this as well. So I click this, click continue. Marshall sees I signed off and my date. So he's going to enter. Oh, I should have did the PO. I could have did that in this one. Sorry about that, but oh, maybe I did do that. All right, so this should work. So I entered the PO number. I'm going to click to sign. Marshall is feeling a little bit more pencil-y today in the second one. So now the DocuSign the JuicedSign.
Hey.
I was waiting for me to say that, and I thought I wasn't going to, but I did. Sorry, the JuicedSign agreement. So now we're going to refresh that one. PO number came back. Wow, that's pretty cool. So that what I entered in that document, it came right back into that field because I associated that tag right over here. Now, also, we're going to get that.
Hey, Keith, I hate to interrupt again. I promised Laura that you were going to show receive a copy as well.
But receive a copy is just another recipient. So what we would do here is we would come in here and we would add a 3rd recipient. Okay. And that recipient, instead of being a signer, it's going to be a receive a copy. That's their action. And you got to spell it right because it's really important. So I would have duped that and made a 3rd recipient, and I would have changed it to receive a copy. Okay. And if I made it in order number 3, they're not going to get that copy until it's fully complete. Now, if you wanted them to get a copy after I signed it as a salesperson, you could do that too. You could have had them as the same order, 2 and 2. So Marshall would have received it, but also the copy person would have received it. So that's a way to, you can just continually create multiple recipients this way. You can control this however you want. Maybe if the quote is a value of $10,000 or more, I want an executive signature. So you can create that formula in here and only add another recipient if need be. So you can just do it that way, but I'm not going to save this. So basically we got through two signers. So you saw how 2 people had to sign. If I come back down here, I should see the signed agreement. You open that up. There we go. There's PO number. There's 2 signatures. So here is signing with multiple recipients, 2 signers in order. So I got it first. Marshall didn't see this until I signed off on it. So that's how we do multiple recipients. Wow.
Take a breath, Keith.
I know, I'm going fast. I'm sorry I'm going fast because I did so much I want to cover in here. And I actually just wanted to see how we doing over there too.
Yeah, the offers are not showing, unfortunately, for right. That's what we're looking like, folks.
All right.
That's the true look. Just wanted to let you guys know. Unfortunately for everyone, it's still showing 585, 25% off ones, everyone. So you know that obviously is kind of like the consolation prize. But if you don't get one of those other two offers, that's the least valuable of the bunch.
All right, so I want to jump in just to finish a couple more things here that we had on our agenda. I want to bring up a little bit about security. I'm not going to go crazy here. Todd's our security expert here, so he can jump in if anybody has any questions. But we run everything on Amazon, and we run everything with load balancers. So when the traffic gets heavy, we can adjust the traffic so that we don't lose anything and everything gets kind of distributed properly. We're also behind the AWS WAF. So it's another layer of security. All of our transactions, JuicedSign transactions, are fully encrypted with TLS 1.2. We also do some email validation. So when you want to send to a recipient, some people might have tried to demo our application and might have done test at test.com. Well, that's not a valid email address. And our email verification process flags that and doesn't actually do the process. So we have some other level of verification going on. We are SOC 2 Type 2 compliant. Our whole infrastructure is like that. We conform to, we got that compliance done probably about a year or two ago. I forget, but we're held to strict standards. We have auditors that watch us and make sure that we're doing things the way we're supposed to, according to Type 2, SOC 2 Type 2. So again, this is some of the things that we hope that you'll understand from a security standpoint. All the documents that we have, we store in Amazon S3. And we store them encrypted. So, and we actually store them along the way too. So if there's an interim document, meaning it was signed by one person, we have a copy of that one. And we have a copy of the fully signed one. So if there's ever any issue, if there's ever any question about what, maybe someone tried to alter a document along the way, we have verification because we store those so that we can say, hey, this is what we have in our system. And if it doesn't match what the customer is saying they have, then there might be something a little bit wonky there. So that's some of the security and legality side of things. I mentioned some of these things while I was doing the demo. These are just, there's no like, this is more of a process that we incorporated into the JuicedSign add-on. There has to be an intent to sign. So if someone's a recipient, they have to intend to sign. So that's why we send them an email. They have to physically click on a link and open it up. So they're intending to sign. They're also consenting to do business electronically. Terms and conditions pop up and basically ask them, are you willing to accept these terms and consider your signature legally binding and electronically captured? Also identifiable signature. We showed you how we can show you a bunch of different signatures based on their name, as well as let them draw. We will be allowing to upload in a future version. Tamp evident technology, I kind of told you before, we do a lot of things in terms of making sure things are encrypted. We capture interim versions of everything so that nobody else can access that stuff but us, and it's stored securely and properly. And record retention, that's another form of legality. We can store, if you have a particular requirement that you want us to restore them, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, you let us know and we store them. So that's part of that. So any questions before we get to this?
Just give me one moment to cross-reference everything, Keith, to make sure that everybody that's here is marked down as here. I just want to make sure. So filibuster.
So we're excited. We're excited to give this away, because we want somebody to take this away and take advantage of this. This obviously it's free, so there's no reason why you wouldn't want to take advantage of this one.
Something else I actually got in the chat, Keith, that I thought I'd mention. It was a private message, which, by the way, for those of you private messaging me, I have one arm, so sorry if I was a little delayed or if there was spelling issues. So just as a heads up, if you guys wanted to purchase one of those offers, you are still eligible to win the free year. The free year will 100% trump any offer you took. Obviously, it's a better offer. So for those of you who did accept an offer, just know that you're still eligible for the free year. One, I did get that in the chat. They didn't want to purchase until they saw that if they won or not. So just heads up on that. Two, if the offer cannot be signed, today, typically we want to have that signed by tonight to get the offer to be valid. If for some reason you're not the eligible signer, or there's some other reason why you can't sign today, please message me privately or Keith privately so that we can mark you down as a confirmed purchase and you will still get your deal. If you don't have my email address, I'll put it in. You could also email me after, and if there's a reason for why you can't sign today, just so that we know. If not, those at juice.com, those deals are going to expire. And this is your really one and only opportunity to get this. There's only a few left, but I just wanted to put that out there also.
Yeah, Danielle's not going to go for it after today. So
Yeah, we're lucky we could even do this. Danielle.
Yeah. All right. So we good? We ready to give away?
I was just about to say we're set on that
We're
wheel
set.
right there.
All right. So good luck. I hope you win. So let's give it a shot.
My name in.
Let's give it a shot and see what happens. All right, the wheel is yours. Let's spin the wheel.
Oh,
We need to have some music here.
Yeah.
We need Pat Staycheck here or something.
Oh, geez.
All right, so here we go. Let's see who is
Oh, man.
Bonnie.
Bonnie.
All right, so Bonnie, congratulations. We'll be reaching out to you to make sure you can take advantage of this opportunity. We'll set you up right away. We'll get you going. And again, congratulations. Thanks for attending here. And let's go back. Let's want to finish up here.
There's no runner-up.
Don't run it up.
Yeah.
Man. So our roadmap. So obviously this is version 1 that you've seen today. There's so much more we want. We're so excited about building more functionality into this. And we already have a ton of things on our list of to-dos, but we felt that this was definitely at a point where we can get it in your hands and you can actually create agreements and have agreements signed and take advantage of the functionality available. Here's some of the things that we're planning on doing in the next version, which is going to be coming out. This isn't going to be next year. This is going to be within the next month or two. And Manal's probably cringing over there, but we're going to do this within, I would say, by the end of June. So at the end of quarter 2, which is not far away, these will be available in version 2. We're going to support more than just PDFs. So DocS, because we're going to actually take the file, convert it to PDF, and use it. We're actually going to be able to allow you, if you store those documents that you need signed in other clouds, you can pull them from the cloud and send them. But you can also have that fully signed document saved back to that cloud or another cloud. So it's really so that if you don't have these documents in file attachment fields in Quickbase and you want them somewhere else, we'll be able to pull them from there and also put them back there when it's done. We're going to do a lot more with tags. We know that we don't have enough tags. We have enough to get it going for version 1. We have a lot more to do with tags. We're going to do a lot of tag validation, meaning we're going to actually, when people are entering data into those tags, we're going to validate that it conforms to a certain format. We're going to make tags optional and required. We're going to also, instead of anchor strings, because right now we only do things with anchor strings, we're going to allow you to just do tag placement. So page 1 over X down Y, instead of having it key off some anchor. So in case you have other documents you can't manipulate, we try to find something in that document all the time. But now you can just say, well, I in the same spot, go on page 1, go down, go over to the right, go down, and you're good. We're going to have some approve and decline tags. So right inside, you'll be able to have a little button that they'll click to say, I approve. So maybe there's right next to a price in the document, you'll be able to click approve or decline right inside that. From a recipient standpoint, we're going to give you the ability to add, change, and delete recipients after the agreement's already created and sent out, as long as obviously they haven't actioned. But these are going to be some of the things these are some of the things we offer in our DocuSign for Quickbase integration, but we're going to bring some of these things back into JuicedSign. You'll be able to avoid agreement once the recipient selects print and sign. So if someone doesn't want to electronically sign that, we can't control it anymore. And so JuicedSign is out of the picture. So we're going to avoid that, and they're going to have to provide that back to you in some other fashion. So it's because we don't want responsibility for that, because we're not involved anymore once one of your recipients decides to print and sign, and they're going to, but it'll pop up a message before and let them know that that's going to happen. We're going to add additional, let's say, 2-factor authentication into this. So if a recipient wants to sign and you want to make it more secure, you can store an access code in Quickbase and provide that to them either through email or SMS, so that when they open up that agreement, they'll, if the access code validation is turned on, they'll have to enter that access code in order to go further in the process. We're also, in case there's some issues with emails, if there's problem getting the email, when they click the link in email, it doesn't work properly. Sometimes there's some filtering and security programs out there that people have on their emails. You'll have a key inside that email that you can go to juicesign.com and you can say, I want to access some documents using an access key, and you enter that access key, fully encrypted. It's not something that anybody else is going to be able to get to, but once they enter that key, they're going to be able to go through the JuicedSign experience. Okay, so we'll be able to also do what we call, triggered creation of agreement sent. So we do that with our DocuSign integration. We're going to do that with JuicedSign as well. It's kind of like a batch processor. I wanted to automatically send once something happens in QuickBase. And then we're going to be allowing you to manage from Juice Cloud all your account management stuff that I entered during a wizard. So you can add senders, you can remove senders, you can do a lot of other things. You're going to be able to do that right from our Juice Cloud. So these are some of the things that we have on a roadmap for version 2. One other thing I want to mention is May is JuicedSign month. So start a trial. If you didn't take advantage of one of those offers, fine. If you didn't win the free one, fine. But set up a trial. It doesn't cost you anything but your time. But if you run into a problem during your setup and so on, and you don't have the time to do it on your own, reach out to us. If you've attended this webinar, we know we'll give you $200 off of the setup. So setup is normally $675. We'll do that setup. We'll finish it for you. One document template, one app. We'll knock $200 off the setup charge. And sorry, Danielle. Oh God, Danielle's gonna be mad. But that's what we're offering here. So JuicedSign month is May. Take advantage of these offers. Now we do have some time left. We can certainly address some questions.
Just Keith, some questions that are still up. Does it work on a mobile device? Yes, it does work on a mobile device and actually looks very, very nice. I think it looks awesome. And then Laura did ask some questions. We do utilize QuickBase in order to run a lot of the JuicedSign features. So yes, if QuickBase is down, unfortunately, we're down as well. And that goes for, I think, almost all of our add-ons.
Yeah, because we have to connect. We make sure that their applications are authorized to use QuickBase.
Right.
And authorized to use any one of our add-ons. So one of our first calls is we say, are you authorized? QuickBase is down. We're not going to be able to do that call. So then we stop the process right there.
Right. Yep. So that's the question with that. And then the trying to sign because launch QuickBase for front. Okay. Yep. Yeah, I think you got it all, Keith. For those of you who took us up on the offers, you should have gotten an email from JuicedSign to sign then. If it's in there and you think you signed up for an offer, but you didn't get an email, please let us know. If you have trouble signing, please let us know. We'll be happy to help. Obviously, this is version 1.0, so everything's only going to get better from here. So we're super excited. Again, shout out to all the developers who worked on this. Shout out to Todd and Keith, whether they shout us out or not. Great team effort on this whole one. We're really, really excited. And we appreciate everyone coming here. And hopefully you guys all come to office hours next week because we have just as much coming up and we'll be here for you guys.
Last call for t-shirts. If you want a t-shirt,
yes,
you put it in the chat, t-shirt. We'll reach out to you to get the information that we need, get that out to you. Wear it proudly. We'll appreciate that if you would.
Yes. And congrats, Bonnie.
Yes, Bonnie, congratulations. Once again, thank you for your time. We certainly appreciate you spending some time with us this afternoon. We hope it was helpful. We hope you learned a little bit here. And we hope you took advantage of some of the offers. So again, the offers we're going to keep that up for the rest of the day. At 12 o'clock, that page comes down.
Right. Yep. All right, we're getting these t-shirts in now, so we'll be making sure we get them in. Let me know how many.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, everyone.
These are really comfortable t-shirts too, by the way. I love wearing these t-shirts. And it says JuicedSign on it. That's the bonus.
I hope Justin's getting all these t-shirt ones at the end here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to save the chat to get back to that one. Try my best.
Well, once again, people, thank you very much. We appreciate you joining us today. Go JuicedSign.